part of the pituitary, that is anterior pituitary. Before that, we will see the pituitary gland, some about the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is also called hypophyseal gland. Its length is 1 centimeter, its weight is 0.5 to 1 gram, and it is situated in the sella turcica of the sphenoid bone, which is situated at the base of the brain. This is the anatomy of the pituitary gland. Now, pituitary gland is having two types of cells. 50% cell, it is called chromophobe cell. They are a granular cell and they are not stained by staining. The second 50% cell, they are called chromophile cell. They are stained by staining and they accounts for the 50%. We will concentrate on the chromophile cells. Now already I have told you it is accounts for the 50%. Okay. Now chromophile cell, it is of two types. We take the acidic stain, which is called acidophilic cell, and we take a basic stain that is called basophilic stain. It's basophilic cell, sorry, basophilic cell. Now, depending upon the staining property, the cells, they are divided into acidophilic cell and basophilic cell. Please concentrate on this. The growth hormone and prolactin, they are acidophilic cells, and remaining hormones of the anterior pituitary. Remember the hormones of the anterior pituitary? There are 6 hormones of the anterior pituitary, and 2 hormones, they are acidophilic, and remaining hormone, 4 hormones, they are basophilic in nature. Now again, classification of this pituitary cell is on the basis of the crops, means the content. Means write down 5 cells, they are there. Number 1, somatotrophs, which secrete growth hormone. Lactotrophs, which secrete prolactin. Corticotrophs, which secrete adrenocorticotropin hormone. Thyrotrophs, which secrete thyroid stimulating hormone. And lastly, they are gonadotrophs, they secrete luteinizing and follicle stimulating hormone. Please, again I am repeating that, please see the hormone secreted by hypothalamus and the hormone secreted by anterior pituitary. Now, which hormones they are secreted for anterior pituitary? Which hormone? Growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, ACTH, corticotropin, adrenocorticotropin hormone, follicular stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and prolactin. These 6 hormones, they are secreted by anterior pituitary. And you know, I already told you that it is called neuroendocrine gland because it has connection with the hypothalamus. So, the hormones which comes through the anterior pituitary through a hypophyseal blood vessel, not tract. Tract means nerve ending. Blood vessel. Okay? In vertebral anatomy, the pituitary gland or hypophysis is an endocrine gland about the size of pea and weighing about 0.5 gram. It is protrusion of bottom of the hypothalamus at the base of the brain and rests in a small bony cavity. It is called sella turcica covered by dural fold. The pituitary fossa in which the pituitary gland sits is situated in the sphenoid bone in the middle cranial fossa at the base of the brain. The pituitary gland secrete hormone regulating homeostasis, including trophic hormones that stimulate other endocrine glands. Trophic hormones is somatotroph, lactotrophs, like that. It is functionally connected to the hypothalamus by the median eminence via a small tube called pituitary stalk or hypophyseal stalk. See this figure? Clear-cutly seen the posterior pituitary, clear-cutly seen the anterior pituitary, and between these there is one median structure that is called C, hypophyseal fossa insula turcica of the sphenoid bone. And in between this is median eminence. And upper part, it shows hypothalamus. These three structures, they are very important. First is hypothalamus, second is anterior pituitary, and then the posterior pituitary. This is the anatomy of the pituitary gland. Anterior pituitary, major organ of the endocrine system. Anterior pituitary, also called adenohypophysis. Already you know that it is called adenohypophysis, neurohypophysis. Posterior pituitary is called neurohypophysis. Anterior pituitary is called adenohypophysis. This is the glandular anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. The anterior pituitary regulates several physiological processes including stress, growth, and reproduction. Its regulatory functions are achieved through the secretion of various peptide hormones that act on a target organs including the adrenal gland, liver, bone, thyroid gland, and gonads. Remember that I already repeated in the previous lecture that every hormone have a target organ. Like the suprarenal gland, adrenal gland, our target organ is adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. The anterior pituitary itself is regulated by the hypothalamus. And remember that, please, regulation of hormone is very, very important. And regulation of hormone is mainly by negative feedback mechanism. Any regulation of hormone is by negative feedback mechanism. You know the hormones of the anterior pituitary. There is no need to repeat again and again these hormones. Remember the long questions asked on the growth hormone. Please write down this. Growth hormone, or it is also called somatotrophs. Chemistry. Chemically, it is protein in nature containing 191 amino acids. Now, transport of a hormone. 50% of the hormone, they are transported with attached to the plasma protein. It is called growth hormone plasma protein. And 50% hormone, they are free. The hormone which attached to the plasma protein, they are loosely attached because whenever they are required, they can release easily. Now, please write down, this is a very important thing, action of growth hormone. First, write down on the metabolism. Which metabolism? Protein, fat, and carbohydrate. First action is on the metabolism. Protein, fat, and carbohydrate. And second action of growth hormone is on bones. Its target organs is bone and metabolism. Now please write down upon the metabolism of protein. It increases the protein synthesis. It is having anabolic effect on a protein synthesis. How? आपको तो पता है increase कर रहा है protein synthesis, but how? Write down one by one. It increases amino acid transport into the cell. Number two, it increases transcription of DNA. Number three, it increases translation of RNA. And number four, it decreases the catabolism of protein. Catabolism of protein gives rise to amino acid. So all this, see that the protein synthesis, the catabolism is decreases, the transcription of messenger RNA, DNA is increases, translation of messenger RNA is increases, transport of amino acid, all things goes to increase protein synthesis. It is called as anabolic effect. Anabolism, I think you should know the difference between anabolism and the catabolism. Now, protein का हो गया? I ask you, how increase in the protein metabolism? Any question? How increases the protein by 4 ways? Increase amino acid transport, increase transcription of DNA, increase translation of RNA, and decreases catabolism of protein. All these give rise to increase in the protein level. Write down about the fat metabolism. It increases, it causes mobilization of fat from adipose tissue. Mobilization of fat from adipose tissue. So there is increase in the free fatty acid level in the blood. What is the action on fat metabolism? Mobilization of fat from adipose tissue and increase the fatty acid and triglyceride level. Important one is carbohydrate metabolism. It is called diabetogenic hormone. Pituitary diabetogenic hormone, it increases the blood sugar level. Write down about the carbohydrate metabolism. It increases the blood glucose level, hyperglycemia. How? Write down A. It decreases peripheral utilization of the glucose by the cell. First, decreases peripheral utilization of glucose by the cell. Then it decreases gluconeogenesis. It decreases glycogenolysis. And it also decreases conversion of glucose into the glycogen. So all these responsible for the increased blood sugar level, and it is called pituitary diabetics, a diabetogenic hormone. Excess hormone is there. person is 100% having diabetes mellitus. It is not the diabetes mellitus of the other type, but it is called pituitary diabetes mellitus. This is very important. Metabolism so easy, but bones. The growth hormone, the name itself suggests that it increases growth of a tissue that is capable of growing. All tissue that is capable of growing. So it increases the growth of a tissue by increasing the size and increasing the number. Remember that size also increases and the number also increases by mitosis. Okay. Now, important one is bone. This growth hormone is responsible for the physical growth of a person. See, if the person of 3 years, the growth is like this, 5 years like this, up till it achieves the puberty, 18 up to 18 years, the growth hormone secretion is increases. When the epiphysis fuses with the shaft, it called it as it achieves the puberty and the growth hormone secretion is decreased then downwards. See, from childhood, the growth hormone secretion is increases. One minute. Mama? Mama? परवा दिवशी पण झाली. अरे गेलं कुठे कुठे गेलं क्लिक करायचं इथे. नाही पुढे जात नाही काहीतरी आलं होतं. नाही आता बस हे चालू होतं बस. पोरांचं पुढे नाव जाते तुम्ही तो वर बाहेर जा मी. ऍक्शन ऑन बोन्स. नाही मी परवा दिवशी पण केलं नाही. Action on bones. I already told that the growth hormone is responsible for the physical growth of tissue. Now, physical growth means the growth of a bones. When the length of a bones is increased, the height is also increases. Now, one question is that how the growth hormone acts on a bones. It does not act directly on the bones. Remember that growth hormone does not act directly on the bones. They act through a substance that is called somatomedian C. What is that? Somatomedian C, which is synthesized in the liver. Somatomedian C, which is synthesized. It is two types, somatomedian C. It is also called growth hormone. And second is somatomedian C, it is synthesized in the liver. So remember that even though the growth hormone secretion is normal, and if somatomedium C is absent, then person becomes dwarf. So remember that for the action on the bones, the somatomedium C is very important and it is synthesized by the liver. It is also called interleukin factor 1, somatomedium C, and another factor that is interleukin factor 2. Now this is the, there is hypothalamus. It is the regulation of growth hormones. Now, two hormones, they are responsible for the regulation of growth hormone. One is growth hormone, inhibitory hormone, and second is growth hormone, releasing hormone. They both are released by hypothalamus. Okay? When the growth is activated, it goes to the anterobitary lobe. Then it increases the growth hormone, blood level of growth hormone increases, and blood level of growth hormone is also, and vice versa. Please, in the short, remember that growth hormone releasing hormone and growth hormone inhibitory hormone from the hypothalamus, both they regulate the growth hormone secretion. That's why our height is in a normal range, male as well as female. As soon as we achieve puberty at the 80, your height is stopped. Now, this applied part is very, very important. Write down, whenever there is hypersecretion of growth hormone, two condition is there. One is giantism, second is acromegaly. When hypersecretion of growth hormone is there, one condition is there that is called dwarfism. Applied part पे दो है. Hypersecretion, first is go to giantism, second acromegaly. Hypersecretion is the of growth hormone gives rise to dwarfism. Now, what is giantism? Giantism, it is a condition in which there is hypersecretion of the growth hormone, excess secretion of the growth hormone before puberty. Please underline this word, before puberty. The epiphytes does not fuses with the shaft before puberty. Now, normal height of a person, male or female, is 6.1 or 6.2 hardly. But in giantism, what is the critical feature of the giantism? Because it is before puberty. So excess secretion may increase the height up to 7 to 8 feet. Height is increases up to 7 to 8 feet. Hands, they are long. Legs, they are long. Shoe size is more. And remember that definitely they are having diabetes mellitus because excess secretion of growth hormone exhausts the beta receptor in the islets of Angerland and it gives rise to diabetes mellitus. The second applied part is acromegaly. In acromegaly, what happens? There is also increase in the growth hormone, but after puberty, when the epiphysis fuses with the shaft. What is, write down the clinical features? First, there is bossing of forehead. Second is gorilla-like face. Third is protruding supraorbital ridges. Nose become twice than the normal. And the lower jaw is protruded. And also, the soft tissue like tongue, kidney, liver, they may also enlarge. Important sign of the acromegaly is called dactomegaly. Dacto means hand. Megaly means increase. When we compare with the hand of a normal person with the hand with the acromegalic person, the hand of the acromegalic person is more in thickness as compared to the normal hand. Remember that? Please don't confuse between giantism and acromegaly. A short note is asked on both giantism and the acromegaly. The third part is dwarfism. The name itself suggests that dwarfism means stunted growth. Why there is stunted growth? Because of the hyposecretion of the growth hormone. Now, I will give you an example. Suppose male or baby is having 10 years old. Male is having 10 or 12 years old. He is having height of 4 years old. But the other hormones like thyroid hormones, parathyroid hormone, adrenal corticus hormone, all hormones, they are normal, but only the growth hormone is affected in dwarfism, stunted growth. Mentally, they are normal. Reproductively, they are normal. But the only thing is that the growth hormone secretion is decreased. Due to this, there is stunted growth. Now, here one question raised that there is two types of dwarf. One is pituitary dwarf and second is thyroid dwarf. Thyroid is also responsible for the physical growth of the body, and growth hormone is also responsible for the physical growth of the body. What is the difference between the pituitary dwarf and thyroid dwarf? Now, in thyroid dwarf, now in short, I will tell about the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is act on the central nervous system, and up to 18 months, it is responsible for the formation of synapse. And if there is decreased secretion of the thyroid hormone T4, T3, it gives rise to mental retardation. So the difference between the pituitary dwarf and the growth hormone dwarf is that pituitary dwarf, they are normal person. With all the hormones, they are present, but only one hormone is deficient. That is called mentally they are also strong. They can reproduce, but the thyroid dwarf, they are mentally retarded. The difference between the normal person and giantism. This is the picture of the acromegaly. See, kyphosis is there. There is bending of the vertebra. Now, investigation for growth hormone is that first blood investigation. Second is radiology to see the sphenoid bone. Tumor is there or not. CT scan, MRI, there also is there. Okay. This is a normal hand and this is acromegalic hand. See the difference. See the difference between normal hand and acromegalic hand. Acromegaly. Gigantism and normal person. Growth retardation, dwarfism. One minute.